Um, okay, so this is a new version of me recording this. Oh my gosh. I ran out of storage there on my camera. But anyways, I know on the transition between Sgt. Pepper's and With a Little Help from My Friends on original CD versions where it's just the record recording put onto a CD, the transition's not very clear because I know a lot of CDs, the way they work, they add in a little bit of quiet space between each track, and that really messes with Sgt. Pepper's because a lot of tracks on Sgt. Pepper's, like Day in a Life and The Reprise, that blend right into each other on the original. On the original CD versions, there's like a space of silence, so it's like, so on the original it'd be like, we're Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, we introduce to you the one and only Billy Shears of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and it's like a drum, and then and then it's like silence, and then it's just Billy Shears, and that just doesn't work because of that skipping. But on the actual album, on the cleanup here, everything blends like butter. Unless you have a CD player that just does that skipping anyways, then you're still going to have that problem. But on the CD player that I used over there, the blue one, it blends like butter. It's like spreading butter, or it's like spreading cream cheese onto a bagel. It's like Billy Shears. It's just very smooth, is what I'm trying to say. Next we have Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Now, this is such a good song already, but the cleanup here just makes it so much better. The song just sounds so much more appealing like this. And I'm gonna put part of that on the fact that it's a good song already, but the added, the clean of it, the whole how it's in stereo and how it's all very smooth and much more clear. It sounds so much better than just searching up on YouTube Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And might I mention something else I'd like to mention? It sounds a lot better than the version that's on the Beatles album 1 that was released in both 2000 and 2015. On that album, I do know that it's not as clear as you'd think it would be for being a remaster. Because hold on a second. I do know that on the Beatles album 1, I've listened to it. Everything is a lot less clear. It's like listening to the original record, just a little bit more clear. This is a lot better than that, in my opinion. Next we have Getting Better. Now, another thing I'd like to mention now that we're at Getting Better, since it's a Paul song. Oh my gosh, the bass. The bass on this album is so much more hearable if you're not listening to headphones. I listened to this once with headphones and once without headphones through just my CD player's speakers. And with headphones, of course, you're going to hear bass all the time if you have headphones on. But even on my CD player without the bass boost turned on, because I made sure to turn off the bass boost if I'm going to review an album, wow, the bass sounded amazing still. Oh my, the bass sounded amazing. That bass, it's just like boom, boom, boom. And it's not just like lost in the mix. Like, it's getting better all the time. You can still hear like everything else, of course. But now the bass is like actually in the mix. You get what I mean. Next we have Fixing a Hole. I'm not the biggest fan of this song. It's not like something I listen to every day, of course, but Fixing a Hole is still a pretty good song. It sounds a lot better on the mix. A lot of these songs, I'm going to be repeating myself, of course. Oh, it's so much clearer. It sounds so much better. But really, it just sounds so much better. Next, we have She's Leaving Home. Now, at the start of the song, it sounds really, really good. But I do want to mention something that I actually have a problem with the album in a whole. If you listen to it, it sounds like it's a little more high-pitched than it should be. Like, I've listened to Sgt. Pepper's countless times, but now that I'm listening to this one, and I know a couple other reviewers have actually had the same problem with the album, everything sounds a little more high pitched than the original. If you're listening to original Sgt. Pepper's 67 record compared to the 2017 stereo release, whether it's a record, CD, or digital, I do think that the digital versions don't have this problem. If you're listening to this stereo version on like Apple Music or Spotify, I do believe that those versions don't have this problem, but I'm not entirely sure. But I do know that this has this problem, and with the guitar or harp, I think that is at the start of She's Leaving Home, it's like just a little bit of a semitone more than it should be, and that really throws me off of the whole track. Next we have Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. This just sounds really, really good with this, because I know, especially in the parts where there's no vocals and it's like the carnival music, like I do know if you're listening to that part on the original record, it gets a little muddy, especially when like the guitar comes in, like I do know that if you're listening to the original record, that part can get like a little muddy because of all the different tracks, but because of the 4-track setup they had back in the day where they had to keep, okay, so we filled up these 4 tracks and combine all those tracks, put it as one track and a different 4-track. They had to keep doing that, especially, and things kind of just got lost in the mix when you do that. Kind of like when you merge tracks on iOS GarageBand and like, that feature I added in is gone. That definitely happens a lot with this, especially on Being for the Benefit, but on this stereo version, oh my, it's just so nice and crisp and good. It's like, it's instead of, it's more like, it's just so nice and good. Okay, so next we have Within You and Without You. It's a lot better than the original. Even with the few problems that it does have, it's still a great George song. And I know it's like the one song that's not written by it, that's not a Lennon McCartney song on here. Yeah, everything on here is Lennon McCartney except for Within You and Without You, which is a Harrison song. But it is still it's a really good song. It's the one Harrison song on the record, like I said, but it is still very good. It's a great Harrison record, great Harrison song, and I'm glad that it's a lot better here on this version. Next we have When I'm 64, and this version sounds so much better. Like, the clarinet, I believe, that's at the start. Clarinets are great. But the clarinet, it's a lot better. Everything is a lot better in that song. Just like the others, not much more to note, except for the fact that when it's in kind of like it's where the piano gets down, and it's like, there's a little bit of string, I think it's like, dun, 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 ooh, where that part, it's a lot less muddy than the original because of the cleaner master recordings that were used for this album. Next up we have Lovely Rita. I never liked this song originally. But the mix on it, I'm not gonna lie, and just say, oh, well, I don't like this song anyway, so it's not a good mix. It's still very well mixed. Giles Martin and George Martin did a good job mixing all of this up to sound really good, and it just sounds really good. Good morning, good morning. Oh my gosh, this song gets so muddy because at the end of the song, especially on an original record, it's like all these different noises. Like we get the rooster and the four bands singing and all different instruments, and then I think there's a little bit of string in there too, and piano too. Everything gets lost in the original muddy, but in this everything is so clear. Like I can clearly hear. Okay, there's the rooster, there's the piano, there's the band, there's their vocals, you can hear it a lot more clearly. Each part has its own little separated actual part, and it's not just, okay, slap all of them together mindlessly, Next we have Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band Reprise, and this song, this is a lot. Like, it's one of the best songs on the record, which is kind of weird, but I actually like this as one of the best songs on the record. Well, it's one of the best songs on the record. I really like it. And next we have A Day in the Life, which, like I said earlier, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band Reprise. It blends very great into Day in the Life. Like, it's just like, we're sorry, but it's time to go. Dun, 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 dun. I read the news today. Okay, I can't sing like John Lennon, but my point is, it's so good. Next up, we have A Day in a Life, which is a great song already, but I'm glad it sounds so much better. One part I'd like to mention that sounds like the best in this whole mix it's the best part of this whole mix, really, is A Day in the Life. If you listen to it on an original record, it has the whole string thing where it's like dun 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 dun, where it builds up to Paul's little section of the song in the middle. The whole string build up on the original is really muddy, like but on this, it's much more clearer, each section. Like, there's the bass, there's the cello, there's the viola, or whatever. All the strings and all the clarinets, and everything sounds a lot better in this mix. And of course, the ending piano chord that was already amazing on the original record, it is so much better on this, because I think it actually lasts like a couple more seconds, too, than the original. And of course, if you wait a little bit around, this was actually a thing on the end of the record too. On only original UK pressings, on the vinyl, if you let it get into the inner groove, which is usually if you let it get into the inner groove of the song right after A Day in the Life, it would have this little like thing where it goes, never could see any other way, never could see any other way, never could see any other way, which is also another thing that references to Paul is dead, if you believe in that theory. Some people think it's saying never could be any other way, and then you reverse it, will Paul be back as Superman? Whatever. I don't really believe in that conspiracy. I don't believe in conspiracies, but anyways, yeah, that little area was kept in this mix, which I think is a great nod to the original. So in all, the first CD of the 2C anniversary edition of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band 2017 stereo mix, I think it's amazing. I'd give it like a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah.